I'll find them on Facebook and I'll send them a direct message. And guess what? They're not going to see that direct message. No, it's going to go into their filtered messages. They'll never see it. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into their feed and I'm going to find a place where they have been communicating back and forth with somebody in their feed. And here's where the genius of this really comes in. I'm going to hit reply to one of their comments. That's going to tag them in my comment. Now, when that happens, when I tag them in my comment, they're going to see it, right? Now it gets really interesting because what I'm going to say is, hey, Susie, it's Michael. I've been trying to get a hold of you. By the way, here's my phone number. I also sent you a direct message. It probably went into your filtered messages, so you might want to check there. Now watch this. Is Susie going to call me? Heck no, she's not going to call me. But guess what she will do? She'll go into her filtered messages and she'll find my message that got filtered. Now, here's why this is important. And this is the piece that most people don't understand. This is the genius of the system. The reason this works so well is because you need people to see your name 7 to 10 times before they'll even remember your name, before they'll even recognize who you are, right? And so this gives me 3 to 6 touches because when they go to their direct message, and they'll always go there and they'll open that message up. And when they open that message up, guess what happens? Facebook, now, is it going to convert them to a lead for me right away? No, but Facebook thinks we know each other at this point. And so what it will do is it will feed just a little bit of my content to that person. Not a ton. I'm not talking about, all of a sudden they see me everywhere they go, but it's going to feed them just a little bit of content. And that's going to give me more and more touches with this person, as well as they saw my comment, then they saw my message. Now they're seeing a few of my posts. Guys, all of this conspires together with me making phone calls and all the others of the 7 methods that I'm utilizing to all of a sudden get me top of mind, top of consciousness. It's a very, very big deal. Now, let's take this a step further. So speed to lead and tenacity of follow. So here's the 7 ways. We talked about the 7 ways that we need to follow up. Here's the frequency with which we need to follow up. Okay, write this down. You're going to freak out about this. Okay, but this works, I promise. So it's called the Club Wealth Rule of 3. The Club Wealth Rule of 3. Club Wealth Rule of 3. Write this down. I'm going to contact them 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. I'll give it to you again. 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. One more time. 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. Now, here's what happens. Okay, this is crazy. You're going to love this. So when I do that, what's going to happen is they're going to, first of all, am I going to upset some people? Potentially. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some people that are going to be upset by this. Okay, so what, right? That's okay. What I'm also going to do, though, is the people that are upset, what do? Do I put them on my DNC list? No, I'm going to wait 2 weeks and I'm going to call them back, right? Because here's the thing. First and foremost, you don't know what kind of day they were having the first time you called them. Maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe their wife left them. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe the wife took the dog in the truck with her. You never know. He could be writing a country song about it. You don't know what was going on that day, right? But get this. If I wait 2 weeks, they're going to be in a better mood 2 weeks from now, most likely. And oh, by the way, they're going to forget who I am. So I get a whole nother bite at that apple. So I wait 2 weeks and I'm going to give them a call back. Now, that said, if I'm following up this tenaciously with somebody, guess what? I'm going to be the only one following up with them before too long. And this race is a marathon, not a sprint. I can promise you that, right? We'll get the sprint ones by making those quick calls. But then by doing this tenacious follow-up over a long period of time, we're going to pick up a ton of clients out of this, okay? And I'll tell you right now, this is the part that's missed by most agents, all right? Now, that said, let's talk about what it really looks like when I make these calls, okay? So very clearly, here's what's going to happen. So I'm going to call them up, get them on, and when I call them, if they don't answer the phone, what do? I don't leave a message. I hang up and I call them right back. It's called a double dial, okay? So I call them, they don't answer, I hang up, I call right back. If they don't answer the second time, then I'm going to send them a text message, okay? This is very important. By the way, on that double dial, 35% of the time, they'll pick up the phone on the second call. Isn't that interesting? 35% of the people that did not pick up on call number 1 will pick up on call number 2. Patrick's like, I love the double dial. Me too, Patrick. It's great stuff. So check this out. So if they don't pick up the second time, I send them a text message that simply says, is this whatever name they registered on the website with? Okay. Is this Susie? Okay. Very interesting, right? Then she's going to reply back almost every time. She's going to come back with, yes, who is this? Or simply, who's this? Right. And when she says that, I want you to, first of all, I want you to think about this. If you have kids, you get a phone call, you don't answer the phone, they don't leave a message. Okay. You call them again. Or sorry, they call you back. You don't answer. They don't leave a message. Then they send you a text message that says, is this your first name? If you have kids, you're probably thinking, what? One of my kids is either hurt or in the hospital, or in hospital or in jail, depending on which kid it is, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to be curious what's going on. Then they send you a text message saying, is this Susie? You say, yes. Who is this? They say, write this down. Calling you now. Calling you now. And at that point, 82% of the people will pick up the phone. And 82% of the people that respond to your text message will pick up the phone. Oh, I love it, Lori. I'm glad you said that. Lori, that's perfect. So Lori says, I pick up, I curse you out, and I block you on the second dial. I love it. All right. So watch this, Lori. Watch me turn you from irritated to advocate within about 30 seconds, right? So a lot of times what we get is we get that mom who's, they're upset, thinking, oh, so I thought something was wrong with my kid or whatever. And so all you got to do is you just say, Lori, man, I am so sorry. I did not mean to upset you or cause you any anxiety. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't dropping the ball on my end. You had reached out on 123 Main Street, and I just wanted to know, did you want to know the price of that, or would you like to set the time to go take a look at it? You'd be amazed at how that lowers people's guard. They take a deep breath. They're like, oh, well, we just wanted to know the price of that. Fantastic. It's this price, right? And you give them the price. Don't play games. Give them the price, right? And that's another thing that we need to do better as agents, as a profession. We got to remember, we're in a service industry. We got to start serving people, right? So give them what they want. Don't make them jump through a bunch of hoops. All right. That brings me to my next point. Okay. My goal is to get an appointment, right? When I'm making these calls, it's all about getting that appointment.
Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you, because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did.